Thank you. So I think talking about the nationalism and national identity and national narratives, I think there are two other related axes on which we look at identities, and there are lots of debates on that. So one of them is religion, and the other to my mind is the economic system that you alluded to, whether capitalism, socialism, or something else. And I'm sure all these three, the nationalism narrative, the religious one, and the economic one, interplay with each other. One is used for the other and things of that nature. So how would you, look at the world from a religious lens, and maybe later on we can talk about the economic lens, and how should we reconcile all of these three narratives, because there is a lot of confusion among people on how to think about these things.
So religion, economy, and third thing you're saying?
So no, as I said, the first one was our nationalist identity that we spoke about. So that I think we have done. But I think the economic axis and the religious axis are two others which are somewhere embedded. And it's important to peel them also, so that we can understand them better, because they do feed into our national narrative also.
See, religions, as we see, we can't discard something which is real in front of our eyes. If I say there is no religion, in reality there is none, but if I say this, it will sound so arrogant. Religious identity, people are identifying themselves with religions. So we have to accept that people have some kind of religious identity. They are identifying themselves, that I belong to this religion, I come from this religion. But if you look from the spiritual point of view, it is called dharma, which is not same as religion. Dharma meaning is the one which you uphold. You means who? So here first thing will always end into spirituality, because that is the spirit, the soul of this nation, this country. We call Bharat, because that is how I say you will have to begin with that identity, that you are essentially a spiritual identity. If you call it religion, if you call it a nation, I will defer this on economy, but in these two senses we are spiritual more. Religion is because others are telling you that you belong to this religion. But if you ask any Indian who has thorough knowledge of Indian ethos, Indian culture, Indian grand narratives, Indian darshan, then they will shudder to say themselves, other than identifying as a spiritual being at most. And that identity also, if you go further, that also dissolves. So, in that sense, religion, what is the role of a religion? What for people are, if you go deeper into it, finding yourself who you are. It is not something outside that by doing certain act, what is the youth? Then it again becomes a survival issue. So religion has to be understood in proper way. Dharma means the one that you uphold, so first you need to know who you are, who is upholding. Otherwise you get caught into the rituals. So in that sense, it is, we say this, we have great identities, we worship them, we say them, these are Bhagwan. These are ideal human beings, different ways people say. Bhagwan Ram, for example. What he say? Ramo Vigrahvan Dharma. But before that, what he say? These are Valmiki's. Ramo Satya Parakrama. So you can read this beauty of the Sanskrit or our literature is you can read from both the sides. Ramo Satya Parakrama, or the one who is doing Satya Parakrama is the Ram. Both ways you can. From definition to you can go to Naam and Roop. From Naam and Roop you can come to the definition. Transparency, total transparency. Ramo Vigrahvan Dharma. So what is Dharma? If you uphold, that is Dharma. The one who is upholding Dharma is Ram. So everybody in that sense becomes Ram if who is upholding the Dharma. Dharma is what? That has been defined. So this is another quote comes from, this is from all our ethos. Swadharmam nidhanam sreshtam paradharmo bhayavaya. Even if one life goes into one's own dharma, but then again, see, English has an issue. There if you see, if you see the meaning of Atma, they say all, it is soul, it is self, it is spirit. But here we know that soul is entirely different thing from the self. Self is different from the mind. Mind is different from the body. They are all connected, but they are not the same thing. Like a child becomes a man, but is he that child? So, in that sense, dharma is basically, until you know your real identity, you might be thinking that you are following dharma, but in the knowing one's knowledge, you are just following a ritual. So dharma is these words like dharma and karma, these are people have been doing so much discourse around these two words. And still they say, gahano karmana gati. Very tough is to find out what is your karma, what is your dharma. But nonetheless, those words are there. So, religious identities are, I keep saying, no, religion is what? Somebody's experience. Somebody has documented one's experience, and when it has become longer in course of history, so something gets accumulated. And it becomes a body of work, we call scripture or something. So then we start calling, oh, this is dharma. That is not dharma. They have been telling how they lived during their life and what is relevant in their life forever. Both things are told there. So in that sense, religion is mostly observations of a spiritual living beings in their time when they lived. How you can nestle in the same eternal tattva in every time and space when you are there, that is dharma. So which is everywhere said. In this geography, you go this way, and another you go another way. Now coming to the economic. Yes. This is the root of all evils today. This is what dividing the world more than religions. And some smart people are using religion to hide this. You have to identify those people. You have to identify those nations. You have to identify those, if I may say, cultures. If you have to identify those institutions. You have to identify that mindset, which camouflage one thing behind another. They do not mean man, vachan, karma. Our dharma is very simple. If you are following something with your mind, word and deed, you are dharmic. If you are not following this, whatever you do, it doesn't qualify you to be dharmic. If you say one thing and you mean another, what is the point in your following dharma? You are not upholding your own self. So, the economic system through which we are running our affairs, these are the times of regulating our behaviors through political economies. So, that is a issue to be addressed. That requires something. And its roots are currently in the fear. So we have to, because they all see how things connect together. In religions also, if you see them superficially, mind my words, please don't mistake me. If you see religions superficially, then there are two elements, fear and temptation. Same thing is in economy. How they go so well with one another? Either they will make you fear, if you don't go this way, your company is going to collapse, you are not going to have any place in the world, or they dangle a carrot. If you do this, you will get this. Same thing is happening in the religion, superficial religion. But if you want to address the human problem, then economy, as we said, we had Artha Vyavastha. Acharya Chanakya has done so much work. How, he says, how the tax should be taken. Wonderful allegories he has given. Like the sun falling on your back, it caresses you, it gives you pleasant feeling, that is the way king should take its taxes, where you feel good by giving. Is it happening? So, it is not that there is a dearth of vision, it is not that knowledge is not available, it is intention and the hands that are wielding that intention, and intentionally they are not letting the real knowledge come into play. So yes, on economy there can be long conversation that how to address it, but other two things, they are just, once we make our intention clear to the world, all human beings will agree to the truth, because truth pierces straight into your heart, and when heart is happy, then at least one time you tend to think that should I go with the heart or should I again push myself to this what you call survival model. But there, yes, courage is needed. So another qualification of dharma is spirituality is sahas, courage. That is, perhaps I say, is the most important quality for a spiritual person is needed is courage. Only those who are ultimately courageous can enter the field of spirituality. And that you know very well from our grand narrative. Krishna agreed to tell Arjun only on the condition that you will not run away from the battlefield. By hiding behind the, he is doling out his knowledge, know how it is good to run away from fighting. He said, look, what are you doing? Just the reverse. So even at that time, look how much difference had come. See, these are the events of the recorded history. When Mahabharata and Gita were recorded by Vedavyas. But do we know for how long it kept coming? Only through oral traditions. So even that time it was recorded that even that time misinterpretations had begun to happen. Arjuna described in such a way as if spirituality means run away. Then Krishna had to tell him clearly, spirituality means involve yourself totally. Only totally involved person can move towards spirituality. He has to be. And when you are involved totally, need not say, only courageous do that. Otherwise you tend to take alibis and keep quiet. No, I am not capable, I have not this is not my work. Responsibility is of the ones who dares to take the responsibility. So we have to see that those two things can be sorted out very well, but this third thing, we need a lot of conversation around this.